You're standing in the doorway of your bedroom, looking at clutter. Right away, you hear familiar voices in your head. They all offer the same tired advice. Just clean as you go. Just put things back where you found them. Just spend 10 minutes a day. Just stop being lazy. We have all heard this. It is the standard vocabulary of cleaning advice. And for a specific kind of overwhelmed mind, it is completely useless. It is useless because it assumes your main problem is just a lack of discipline. It assumes you are simply refusing to do the work out of stubbornness. But that advice only works if your brain already has a surplus of energy. It only works if you have enough emotional regulation to handle the job. To understand why normal advice fails, let's look at an idea from the philosopher Isaiah Berlin. He divided thinkers into two groups, and he used an ancient Greek saying to do this. The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. Berlin called the first group of thinkers the fox, and the second, the hedgehog. The fox is a creature that understands many different things. The fox sees the huge, complicated, competing realities of the world. The hedgehog is different. The hedgehog organizes absolutely everything around one single, central vision. When it comes to figuring out why we cannot keep our homes clean, most of us start off needing the empathy of the fox. A fox-like perspective refuses to look at a messy room and call it laziness. The fox looks at the room and sees the entire complicated system that caused it. The fox sees that clutter is not just one problem, it is a dozen problems piled up. The fox sees that you are not unmotivated. You might just be fighting a mood disorder. Depression brings crushing fatigue. It drains your energy. It makes concentrating and making decisions feel impossible. That directly blocks your ability to do household chores. The fox is incredibly kind because it stops blaming you. It sees the overload. It sees a nervous system that is just trying to survive the afternoon. But self-awareness can be a trap. A fox-like diagnosis can quickly turn into its own kind of paralysis. Once you understand all the complex reasons you are stuck, you feel validated. But you also feel buried. You start asking yourself impossible questions. Is my house messy because of my ADHD? Is it my depression? Is it lingering trauma? Am I just burned out from my job? Suddenly, the explanation for your messy room becomes just as overwhelming as the room itself. You end up sitting on the couch, analyzing your childhood trauma, while the laundry keeps piling up. This is exactly where Berlin's hedgehog becomes so important. The hedgehog does not ignore how complicated your pain is, but it also does not ask you to keep holding every explanation at once. Instead, it simply gives you one unique, organizing essence. The hedgehog gives you one simple rule to follow inside of all that chaos. The fox explains exactly why you are stuck. The hedgehog gives you the tool to get moving. The hedgehog's solution for an exhausted brain is incredibly simple. Stop trying to clean your house. Instead, start making your house ask fewer decisions of you. Your goal is not to suddenly become a perfectly disciplined person. You do not need to transform into someone who loves wiping down baseboards. You are not trying to create a flawless house for a magazine cover. Your only goal is to make your physical space ask you fewer questions. When you look at a cluttered dining table, every single object is demanding an answer. Where do I go? Do I matter? Should I be kept? Will I need this later? Is this trash? Is this sentimental? Is this urgent? Should I feel incredibly guilty about this? This is why staring at a stack of unopened mail is so exhausting. It is not just a pile of paper, it is a pile of 10 postponed choices. Psychological research shows a strong link between cluttered environments and chronic indecision. Clutter is tied directly to procrastination. Cleaning only becomes possible when you stop treating objects like profound philosophical dilemmas. To do this, you have to bypass the exhausted decision-making centers of your brain. In psychology, there is a concept called executive functions. These are basically the management skills of your brain. They are the cognitive skills that let you plan things out. They help you focus, remember instructions, and juggle multiple tasks at once. When these skills are running low or are impaired, doing something like cleaning a room becomes genuinely difficult. So instead of telling yourself to clean the room, you need to create default destinations. You are not deciding an object's ultimate destiny. You are just moving it to a less chaotic category. Give yourself exactly 5 simple destinations. These are trash, laundry, dishes, paper, and things that belong somewhere else. That is it. A destination is infinitely easier for an exhausted brain to process than a decision. You do not ask yourself where this logically fits into your perfect life. You just ask which of those 5 piles it belongs in. Taking this a step further, you have to stop doing full cleaning sessions. A traditional cleaning session is way too abstract. It is too demanding. When you are operating with barely any emotional bandwidth, a heroic 3-hour cleaning marathon will just break you. Instead, you need to focus on closing loops. A loop is simple. It has a clear beginning and a definitive end. It shrinks the objective down until it is survivable. Do not set out to clean the entire kitchen. Set out to take all the visible cups to the sink, put all the trash into one single bag and tie it shut. Clear off just the seat of one chair. Open exactly 5 envelopes of mail. You are not fixing your entire life in one afternoon. That's not possible. You are simply closing one open loop. You are giving your brain a tiny moment of visual quiet. One of the most damaging myths about cleaning is the idea that shame creates action. People use guilt as a motivational tool all the time. Our partners do it. Our parents do it. Our own inner critics do it constantly. But pressure almost always backfires. People don't like their freedom or autonomy being threatened. And when that happens, they experience what psychologists call psychological reactance. This is a hardwired tendency to instinctively resist and push back. It is strongly tied to procrastination. When you feel forced to decide, you freeze. On the flip side is this understanding. We need to feel like we are in charge of our own actions. That builds intrinsic motivation. A command creates resistance, but a choice creates movement. If you want to help yourself or if you want to help someone you live with, you have to abandon the language of shame. Do not tell yourself that you are disgusting. Do not tell your partner they need to clean up immediately. Protect that sense of autonomy. Ask yourself what small part of the room would make your life slightly easier if it were clear. Ask yourself if you would rather start with the trash or the dishes. Give yourself a choice. The ultimate goal of the hedgehog is not to turn your home into a sterile hospital room. Research shows that disorderly environments actually encourage people to break with tradition. They foster creativity in many. And so the goal is to separate your creative mess from your paralyzing mess. Creative mess is active. Paralyzing mess is abandoned. Creative mess is part of an ongoing project. Paralyzing mess is just pure avoidance. That distinction matters. Do not banish all your clutter. Just give your active, creative mess a boundary. Put it on a designated desk or keep it in a specific bin. People in overload often cannot act on a fox-like map. Too many explanations can become another pile of objects. So let the hedgehog help. Let it give you one central organizing principle. Design a home that asks fewer questions. That one idea can organize almost every practical solution. For an overloaded brain, the answer is not to try harder. It is to reduce the number of decisions the room demands.